Spectrum. Today I am going to do a Q&A. So this time I just kind of left it to my family and friends to send in questions, but I think I'll do another one like a couple months from now probably. I was gonna record it yesterday on the 11th, but I ended up going to the ER for severe pain. I'm okay, everything's just fine. Just gotta figure out how to manage, what's going on. But I feel okay. All right, so I guess we can just kind of dive right into it. I posted the question of ask me anything, and most of my responses came from Instagram, but a couple of them did come through like my Snapchat. So I do want to give a shout out to one of my best friends, Mel. She asked like probably 75% of the questions. I don't know, people just didn't want to send them in or something. So yeah, let's just jump right in here. What is the best advice you've ever gotten? I think my mom told me some of the most interesting people don't know what they want to do in their 20s. The most interesting people I know still don't really know what they want to do in their 40s. I think that's just kind of to say like, you're where you need to be. And it's okay if you don't have everything figured out yet. Any book recommendations? I actually don't read a lot, which is not good, I know. But I'm just kind of reading the Bible right now, honestly. I did read another really good book, a very interesting book called The Home for Unwanted Girls. And I actually don't know who the author is of it. I don't know. But it's really good. Kind of a confusing-ish plot if I try to explain it out loud, because, I don't know, not super... I'm here, I'm not out of it completely, but yeah, I'm just kind of still adjusting to the meds. So, if you could live in any decade forever, where would you be and why? My brother asked me that. So, I guess as far as decades go, probably the 90s. Because that's when I was born, and I feel like things were pretty good then. They're not perfect. No decade's been perfect. But I feel like it's pretty, if I had to live in any decade, I probably would not do the 2020s. I'm just being real. If you were to get a tattoo, what would you get? So I actually have two tattoos. I have the one on my wrist that you usually see, and it says breathe, but the T is a cross. And then I have one on my upper thigh, and it's like a blue and purple and pink watercolor with black pine trees, and there's lettering that says life imitates art. And that's from an Oscar Wilde quote of life imitates art more than art imitates life. So I just really like that quote, and the pine trees are from Minnesota, which is where my family's all from, and just really reminds me of my family and my home. And I really like watercolor tattoos. But for my next tattoo, I'd like to get the neurodiversity infinity symbol. What's your favorite movie or favorite movies? My favorite movie is Mean Girls. I love that movie. It's just so quotable and so funny. And then my very close second is My Neighbor Totoro. How and when were you diagnosed with autism? So I was diagnosed right around the time I was 4 years old, and I'm very fortunate that I got a diagnosis that early as a female with autism. The initial diagnoses for me when I was younger, they just thought I had severe OCD. That was, not really right, but I got evaluated by pretty high up people. That was, like I said, 2000 or something, so really, not a whole lot known about females with autism at the time, and my prognosis was not good at the time just because they didn't know, but, I've defied every single obstacle they've tried to put in my way, and I'm doing okay. Are you gonna get a TikTok for your channel? The answer is no. I think it's good and everything. I just vehemently refuse to get TikTok. I won't do it. I refuse. Refuse TikTok. Nope. You just get me on Instagram and YouTube. What's been your proudest moment of 2020? Just surviving it. But I think in all honesty, I think my proudest moment has been going through student teaching online, completely online. That was not easy to go through, and it was very challenging and very taxing on my mental health. So many times I think once or twice a week I would be like, I just want to quit, but I'm proud that I persevered and I made it through, and that I've been doing really well ever since. And I'm just hoping and praying next semester, I'm going to be hopefully in person in an early childhood special ed class, but I don't know. So if they get closed down, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because you can't really Zoom or WebEx for that. So Can you tell if other people are on the spectrum? Yeah, that's a really good question. Sometimes, most of the time I would say though. When I did my first practicum experience, I was in a 4-year-old classroom at one of the local child development centers, and I was told that there was a girl in the classroom with autism. I didn't even have to I came in and I kind of looked at all the children, even how they were playing, I guess, and I immediately picked her out. I'm like, it's that one, isn't it? And they're like, yeah. I mean, yeah, they were like, I don't know how you figured that out so quickly. I'm like, I'm autistic, so I know. And we had a really special connection. It was so cool, But anyway, I think that there are definitely instances where I couldn't necessarily pick one out from a crowd, but I can tell usually just because of how they speak and how they interact with their environment. So yes and no. No because I can't do it with everyone, but yes because I can usually figure it out. I'm like, okay, you're probably neurodiverse. What's your major and when do you graduate? My major is Unified Early Childhood. It's a special program that we have here. It's a dual program that we don't have to take extra classes for. So early childhood education and early childhood special education, that's the unified degree. And so I will be qualified to teach children with and without disabilities from birth until the age of 8 to 3rd grade, basically. I graduate in May, so I'm really excited about that. I've been in school for a very, very, very long time. What is an album I can listen to in its entirety? That's a really good question. I listen to a lot of music. Probably NFR by Lana Del Rey. It's not, the greatest thing to say, but I really do. I think that it's a really good album of hers. But as far as a Christian album, probably 10th Avenue North, their album The Struggle from 2012. Really good album, I think. I like every song on there. What is my favorite drink? I drink a lot of water. I also really like a good cold Coca-Cola, and I do like the fruit punch from Minute Maid, the stuff you get in the cartons for $1 at Walmart. I really like those. I can drink a lot of those. What is your favorite smell? I really like the scent of warm vanilla sugar and Japanese cherry blossom from Bath & Body Works. I love Japanese cherry blossom. I really like the smell of peppermint too, and it's really nice around the holidays because it's peppermint everything. Where do I want to travel? My biggest dream in life, God willing, is to travel to, live in, and teach in New Zealand, preferably around the Auckland area. I've always wanted to go there, and I had such big plans. I'm like, I'm going to plan on, visiting there this year, and then travel bans. So it's probably going to be a long time before I get to go there. But I really want to go to New Zealand. I really would love to go back to Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver in British Columbia, Canada, and it was so beautiful there. And orcas are my favorite animal. The southern resident killer whale population is up there, so I'd love to see those. But my biggest place I want to travel to, in my wildest dreams, I want to go to New Zealand. What is your favorite thing in your room? Probably this poster from my favorite artist, Lights. Well, she's one of my favorites. She's so cool. I've met her twice, and she's so cool. But this particular one was her first tour, and she was she opened for Owl City, who's my other favorite artist. So it's super cool. She signed that, and then I also have a copy of Little Machines, the album. I got a CD of it, and she signed the cover, and she signed the insert, so that was super cool. But yeah, that's probably my favorite thing. But I have so many other things that I love. I think my favorite thing in my room back at home is probably my sewing machine. Any arts and crafts stuff I really love doing, especially things that have to do with repetitive motions like sewing. I really got into embroidery lately. Probably my sewing machine back at home, but here my signed poster from Lights. What is one thing I wish people knew about me? That I wish people knew that just because I have, struggles sometimes socially, that doesn't mean that I'm not ever capable of understanding things, I guess. I don't know. I feel like there might be perceived problems of me, with people's barriers and stuff. I'm respectful of people's preferences and barriers because I'd want them to be the same for me. Oh, what's another thing? I think I wish that they knew that just because I like to be alone sometimes, or just because I say no when I get invited out, that doesn't mean I don't want you to still reach out to me. Like, try and make plans with me, honestly. Like, even if I say no, like, that really means a lot that you want me to come out and hang out with you and your friends and stuff. I advocate for myself really well when I know that I need time alone, or when I'm overwhelmed, especially like sensory overload. I'm pretty good at advocating, like, hey, I need a breather. But I'm not a loner, and I do really like being around people. What is a fond memory from childhood? I had a pretty good childhood, I would say. I had a really loving family and lived up in the suburbs in North Dakota. It was good up there. And I think my favorite memory is probably with my best friend, Kelly, she's awesome. I love you, Kelly. But anyway, yeah, my best friend, Kelly, and I were in a class together in 3rd grade. We were just really weird kids, honestly. But I think one of my favorite memories is that we were, like, it snowed a lot up there, obviously. But we went outside in the snow most of the time. And I feel like one time we had like a lighter blizzard and we got extra recess. I'm pretty sure that's true. I don't know though. But when it got like really, really cold, I mean, we stayed inside, obviously. But we made we were really into aliens at the time. So we drew a little green alien on construction paper and we like drew a face on it and we named her Sarah Lou. I don't know why. We just picked Sarah Lou. And we brought her outside with us for like 2 weeks. And we would just play together and we played with Sarah Lou. And then we got kind of bored with it and we decided that we would have a little backstory of her being taken back to her home planet. But we had a lot of fun with that. That's one of my favorite memories. I think most of my favorite memories from my childhood are with my best friend. And probably with my brother, because my brother was born when I was 7, and it was like the best day ever because I wanted a sibling for so long, and I finally got him, and I was super excited about that. But my brother and I are like best friends now, so it's really nice. I was the first visitor to see him, and I'm gonna get a picture. That's me and my brother pretty shortly after he was born. We were pretty cute kids, but I wanted to be around him all the time, and a lot of times I was the only one who could make him laugh. What's the best board game? I really like the Game of Life and Trivial Pursuit, and with the right people, I like Monopoly. But a lot of times it just takes too long, and Trivial Pursuit can take forever too. I usually play it with my parents, and it can take forever, so I usually once we're about halfway through with our pies, we're like, can we just do a quick version of it so we don't have to wait until we land on a wedge? Like, come on, if you get the answer, you get the wedge. Like, I like card games more though. I really like Uno and Skippo. What is the best book or best verse of the Bible? Romans is my favorite book of the Bible, and my favorite Bible verse, which is actually another thing I probably want to get tattooed at some point, is Romans 8:37. The NIV translation is, "No, in all of these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." So I really it's so powerful. We don't just survive these things, we thrive through Jesus. What is your favorite comfort food? I'm really interesting in that I'll try almost anything, but I really have peculiar taste, I guess. I really like Chinese and Italian food the most, but as far as like comfort food, probably the, you know, those boxes of like pasta that you get at the store, like mac and cheese or like rice-a-roni and stuff. So my two favorites are the Kraft mac and cheese, but I only really like the spiral kind. I don't know what it is. I really like Kraft spiral mac and cheese. Like, get me like a whole like bulk box of those and I'll love you forever. And then my other favorite one is the, I don't even know, the pastaroni, I guess, the angel hair pasta in the blue box. Like, that is, whew, that's good. I also do like dinosaur chicken nuggets. I am a mature 24-year-old adult. And, all right, I think I just have one more. What don't enough people know about autism? There are some general characteristics that most people with autism share, but you know, it's said pretty commonly in the community, once you've met one person with autism, congrats, you've met one person with autism. One thing that I think is really important to know is that just because we have issues sometimes with socialization or communication, that doesn't mean that our intelligence is affected. We are still capable of making connections with people in the best way we know how. Don't correlate someone's intelligence with their communication abilities. There are times where I feel like I can't really say a whole lot, but I can type it out or write it out and I can just kind of make my point across. I think another thing is that just because it might seem like people with autism don't like to be physically affectionate with people, that's not true for everyone. I am a huge hugger. I love hugs. I love cuddling with people. I love it when people play with my hair. I love that kind of stuff. Unless I say I don't want to be touched right now, then I don't. But it's kind of harder right now just because of COVID. So I'm, much more careful with who I'm around. I don't go to crowded places, and I spend probably 95% of my time in my apartment. Just because I'm autistic, that doesn't mean I don't like hugs. I actually that's my love language. That and words of affirmation. Those mean so much. And I think one more thing that I wish people knew more about autism is to just ask questions. If you're really, if you're trying to figure out how to make your friend, comfortable in a situation, just ask. I've kind of talked to my friends about it because they're what can, we had this situation happen, what can I do next time to make it more comfortable for you? That makes me really happy, and it really makes me feel seen and appreciated that you still are even when I have my social difficulties, you're still I want to make sure that you are comfortable and you are happy. So just if you are not sure about how the person with autism you're talking to, how they feel the most comfortable, don't guess, just ask. We'll find a way to tell you. I lied. I have one more thing to say. Always presume competence. Until you find otherwise, always speak with someone, and this is regardless of anyone, any kind of disability. Always speak to them and refer to them and treat them as if they understand everything you say. Because a lot of times they do. And if they don't, then you find your ways to adjust your communication with them. But always lead with the understanding that they understand everything that's going on. I think that's it. I thought I'd get way more questions, but it's okay. I've been busy, with finals and stuff. So this was the last week of finals, and things were great. And then I ended up going to the ER last night. It is what it is. I feel a lot better now today, though, so I'm pretty grateful for that. I'm about to go to a socially distanced worship night with my friends, and really excited about that. Thank you for sending in the questions, Mel. Thank you, everyone, for sending in the questions, and I hope to do this again in a couple months and see what changes and see what other things I can answer. I hope you have a great day. God bless.